Hey, this is Sinji Gamer from the Datalyzers, aka Epic Mickey for Smash on Twitter, and I am happy to debut my new series. Is it possible to defeat Epic Mickey without touching a certain color? The first episode will be if it is possible to defeat Epic Mickey without touching the color red. Here are the rules for the challenge. We can touch any other color except red. Just to be safe, I will try not to touch pink as much as I can too, just to be safe. It only matters if Mickey touches red, not if you paint red. You may paint anything red since you are not physically touching the object, but if you then touch the red, then that is not allowed. What else is that the pointer is also allowed if you hover around red, but you're not really physically touching the red, unlike in Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. When you point at a red star bit, Mario absorbs the star bit, which would be violating the rule of no touching red. Some items that are red in the game are red e-tickets, currency that equals to $1 basically, and red treasure chests, which carry pins. I know I'm not listing all of the other items, mostly because whenever we come up across them, I will point them out. A little disclaimer that for a lot of the playthrough, I will be going through the thinner way, aka the bad way, because it would finish the game much more soon, which in turn leads me to not touch red too much.
The specific controller I wanted to use is my Xbox controller, since I have the sensor bar to connect to a Dolphin emulator, the ones I'm playing Epic Mickey. What I did was make my A button jump, X spin, the D-pad to move around my camera, the right analog stick for the pointer, so I can paint it thin easily. The problem is it always recenters in the middle in Dolphin for some reason, so I'm not able to fix that. I don't know why. Both analog move stick is for, obviously moving Mickey. LT is for thinner, LB is for C, which basically is to recenter the camera to where Mickey is facing. RT is for paint, and RB for some reason is the main menu for Epic Mickey, and also for the main menu of the Wii. I do that because sometimes I'm gonna have to fix my recording where it records. So yeah, the screen share weird button is for sketches, and the 3 lines are also for sketches. Mostly because one of these is for moving around sketches, like if you want to use TV, watch, or anvil, and the 3-line one is for using the sketch to activate it.
So, is it possible to defeat Epic Mickey without touching red? Let us find out! In the beginning of Dark Beauty Castle, there's not too much red, but be careful to not break any of the barriers or mini treasure chests because they have a lot of red e-tickets. When you get to the machine, be sure not to touch Gus, the gremlin next to you, or the sides of the machine, because they have red on them. Spin it 2 times, and then right afterwards go to the next machine. The problem is, the platform there's red on it. Well, it's kind of pink, but like I said before, I'm going to count pink as red sometimes because I'm afraid that there might be some hues of red. So, just try to jump ahead of the pink/red. Right afterwards, spin the next machine 2 times, and then Gus will tell you to go to the door. He also opens up a small room where you can find a treasure chest. But remember, red treasure chests are red, so do not touch them at all. And just go to the door. Now, we have finally learned how to use painted thinner. This will help us a lot with dodging red, because if anything red gets on our path, we can just thin it, if it is thinnable that is, and it will all be okay. Now we get introduced to our very first type of blotling, seers. What is good about the blotlings now is that these ones in the beginning have green eyes, but at the end of the game they all have red eyes because they were created by the final boss, quote-unquote by Oswald, the real blot. Anyways, the problem with the seers is that they have red legs, so we cannot touch them at all. If we have to combat them, which will happen very soon in the playthrough, then we just have to fight not near them. Up until the second gear, there is no red at all. There is something about projectors that I should point out. Yes, some scenes on the projector screen will have red, but that does not count for touching red because you are not controlling Mickey when he goes into the projector. Guess what, guys? Here's our first problem about the playthrough. The first projector screen minigame is Mickey and the Beanstalk. And look here! We have red e-tickets. There's no way to dodge any of all of them. Yay! Is it possible to be Epic Mickey without touching red? Sadly, there is not. But I decided to keep going on for fun. In total, there are 16 mandatory red e-tickets, so there's no way of getting past them, sadly. Now we are in Slalom. We meet a new gremlin named Gremlin Tiesto, who asks us to paint the gears to open the door. I chose to paint the gears and not spin against the middle breakable gear because I knew that I would touch the door, which has red, if I want to go to the other side if I shake the middle gear. So I painted the gears, and we see a new weird blotling called spatter. They have no red yet, so that is good. Next, there are platforms that have red/pink on the floor, and below it there are these spinning blades that hurt you. Since I do not want to touch the red or pink, there is no other way than to thin out the platform and damage myself with using the spinning blades. From here on out, there is no more red, which is good. After we fight the blotlings, Gremlin Tim opens up the gate for us to go to the next area. Right after he opens them up, we get a cutscene with Gus talking about the Guardians, and this is actually perfect for us because Guardians will help us a lot with dodging some enemies, and we can use them to our advantage. And now we can move to the next place in Slalom. And our task now is to thin out the 3 pipes or paint 3 hippos' heads. And the reason for that is because we need to open the lock to the door to get to the next area. I picked painting the 3 hippos' heads because, well, almost for no reason. I just thought it was much easier because I saw some red near the plants, the fake thinnable plants. When I painted the heads, the door opened. Here we learn about a new blotling, the sweeper, one who throws thinner from a bucket and can sweep you with its feet. No red on this blotling yet, so you're safe. Here's another problem we have. If we want to open the door to the Asia boat ride, the next place we go to before the Projector, we have to save 3 Gremlins, Hyperion, Pinza, and Trigo. Both Trigo and Pinza were pretty easy to get, but Hyperion was pretty hard. The issue is that there is a bridge in my way to get to one of the little huts where we can go to get Gremlin Hyperion. So I had to jump right over the red parts and try to land on the parts that are not red, and then I saved Hyperion. And by the way, yes, there is no way to get around from saving the 3 Gremlins. You have to save the 3 Gremlins if you want to get to the next area and open the door. There's no other way. Now that we have all the 3 Gremlins, we can open the door. We have yet another problem. This gear is red and there's no way to get around it. So I need to spin it, and we basically broke the rule. We broke red again because this is mandatory. Man, I hate this challenge sometimes. I spun it and the door opened. Next, we have to step on this pressure plate and spin all 3 gears in less than 10 seconds. The pressure plate is gray with little pink crystals, but I sensed that there would be a little bit of red on it for some strange reason, so just to make sure I stepped on only the gray area. Then I spun the gears and we are greeted by Small Pete. He asks us to retrieve his ship log on his wrecked boat in Gremlin Village. The problem is, I know when we get to Gremlin Village there will be a lot of red, especially in the beginning area where all the gears are, so I will not be retrieving it. And yes, I know that when we get to Small Pete in the European boat ride, there is a fight if you do not retrieve the ship's log, but I'd much rather touch less red than more red, since there is no way to go around the red easily. Sadly, we cannot go to the projector screen now because Oswald closed the door on us, so we need to find a way to open it. Gus tells us to rescue Gremlin Braun from the top of the whole tower thing, and he will tell us what to do. I know what to do already, so I do not need to rescue him. Also, if you even want to rescue him, you have to spin a gear to unlock platforms to get up, and there's a lot of red nearby. And also in the weird puppet things, that are like the girl puppets, there are red e-tickets, so we're definitely not going to get them. What I did was go to the gear mechanism area, where we could paint the backgrounds of 2 gears, get on them, and then step on a lever plate so it can fall and unlock the mighty fire-breathing dragon, which is red. I knew I could definitely not go on him, so I needed to just go to this very weird Aladdin-themed platform. Yes, I know there is a lot of red around it, but the very tip of it is white, which is great. So I made sure to only touch the white, not the red. Then go on the cloud, step on the left and right lever plates, and it would open the door. Finally, we can go to the projector screen, which is the first, quote-unquote, part of Steamboat Willie. As I said with Mickey and the Beanstalk, for pretty much all the projector mini-games, it is mandatory to get some e-tickets because there is no way of going around them. I counted 7 mandatory red e-tickets if you go the right ways and try as hard as you can. Now, we finally arrive at Gremlin Village. When we get there, Gremlin Village is not the best. I know there's a lot of red here, so I thought of an idea. Instead of just going to the projector in the Gremlin Tower, and then painting the payment thinner pump thingy, and then going into the Guardian Gate thing, we can just use the windmill to take a shortcut to the European boat ride, which will take us very close to the Coliseum. But if I want to activate the windmill, I have to paint Gus's house, which has red, but I'm not going to touch it. This was not really a problem, as I just have to paint the pipes and shake the orange key right afterwards. Oh, by the way, when I record the game on Dolphin, my computer has this weird lighting that makes like orange things kind of look a little red because it makes it a little darker. But I can assure you that it is orange in the original game, not red. Anyways, after that, we just paint Gus's house, and that is settled. I just go to the windmill, then into the projector screen, and then finish the projector minigame, and all is said and done. This projector minigame also has mandatory e-tickets to collect. Oh my gosh, I counted about 5 red e-tickets, which was much lower than I anticipated, but interesting. Now we're finally near the Coliseum. I just done out the sweeper, painted the gears near the rotating platforms, and got into the Coliseum. Now remember when I said that we did not have to get Small Pete's ship log back on the Asian boat ride? Right, because, well, you know, the boat is red. So, yeah, we did not get it, and that means we have to fight a ton of blotlings. But we have a problem. We are very close to some red on this thinnable platform mural thingy. So what I had to do was jump out of the way, but it was very hard. There's something else too. For some of the blotlings, when I thin them, they drop red e-tickets. Only some of them. And that is not good at all. Because of that, my path from where I could stay got narrower and narrower. And I died. A lot. I just kept trying, and I got it. How, you ask? I found a way to dodge the e-tickets and be safe by getting on the side platforms. They are not able to get me there, except the sweepers, but it was easy to dodge the hurdles of thinner. The next projector minigame was Steamboat Willie Part 3, and there are 5 mandatory red e-tickets to collect. Why do we even have to collect these? They're just becoming very obnoxious. After the projector screen, it was time to take on our very first boss battle, the Clock Tower. And this was also easy, and I made it much easier and faster by beating the Clock Tower with thinner instead of paint. The only thing I had to watch out for were the spinnable girl doll thingies on the battlefield. Why did I describe it that way? And the floor had no red, so that was good. And that is all for part 1. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and I hope I'll see you later. Bye!